Dovrei parlare molto alto, così arriva.
E qua? Ieri.
Io non sono mica un'attrice. So, we are waiting for the last two coffees to be served. See, we have the microphone, but we decided not to use it because it's the vibe is better without the microphone. Okay, so welcome to this edition of Creative Mornings. We decided to make this our Pride edition, not because of June is the month Pride, but because every day should be the reason to reflect on this theme for us. So every day is Pride Day for us. May's theme is acceptance. The illustration is been made by Robert Vitti, and the theme is has been chosen by Lexington community. It's hard, it's difficult, it's painful, it's strange, it's also powerful, because acceptance is what enables us to create the space and to gather the energies to change what we want to change. So acceptance is not just, okay, I accept this is the situation, I cannot do anything. Acceptance is creating new spaces, new identities, new ideas. So welcome to Creative Mornings today. I'd like to thank our international sponsor as usual, MailChimp. Go check their new series, their ideas, their inspiration. Never forget to bring a friend to our Creative Mornings. I know there are also people that came here just out of curiosity, so welcome also to the new people of the community. And a special thanks to Spaces, to this beautiful space that hosts us today, and also for other editions. I'd like to call Greta.
Hi, at Spaces, we would like to give you a warm welcome. We hope that you find our spaces enticing and innovative and creative just like you. And if you would like to stay after the event, of course, stay. We will be happy to host you more than just for an hour. Okay?
Thank you very much. It's super beautiful that we found a co-host for us, Spaces, who share our values at all. Welcome also to other sponsor and partner today, which is Mutolina Magazine. You will find information with Silvia later, and then all the material over there. Thank you to the beautiful team that is always working out an event. Every time we find a way to succeed and create a beautiful event. If someone wants to be part of this, of course, just ask. You can contact us on the social networks, you can write us an email, you can just come and speak with us after the event. Creative Mornings is a beautiful community of 20, sorry for the English, I just had one coffee. So 223 communities, almost 24, because together with Creative Mornings Milano, we are giving birth to Creative Morning Kyoto. So they will open their social networks and they will take a couple of days. So go and follow them and encourage them because they are really, really super nice people. What is Creative Mornings? Creative Mornings is based on creativity. And the creative life requires bravery, and that's why we are here. I will let you read the manifesto wherever you can find it, on our website, on our social network. The last thing I want to say again, everyone is welcome. And especially today, our speaker is an actor and a screenwriter, right? Based in Milano. I'll let you do all the presentation again or not, and then find your presentation here somewhere. Let's see if we can cannot work with two monitors when one is behind me and the other is in front of me. Hola. Okay. Please, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me? Is my voice loud enough? Okay. So my English is worse than my Chiara one, so be patient with me. The only way out is through. It's a mantra, a phrase that I often repeated to myself as I grew up, with a motivational intent. It was a phrase that I first originally discovered in a song by Alanis Morissette, and I said this phrase to myself to remember that even if I was in a difficult situation or in a desperate moment, I would eventually, if I go through that, found something different on the other side, something that I could not even imagine. But recently I discovered that this phrase was originally used by a poet named Robert Frost, an American poet, in a poem named Servant to Servant. In this poem, there is an inner monologue of a woman, a farmer wife, that sees this man camped on their lands near a river, and she dreams of the life that this man has, the freedom she sees in him. She dreams of going there and talk to him and living a life like his, while she's stuck, she's in a cage of her own role, the wife role. So I thought to myself, how many times, instead of trying to pursue my freedom, I found myself stuck in a role that I was giving to myself because I needed to be accepted by the others. The first role was important to me to fit was, of course, the man role. Being a man, be strong, be tough, know what I wanted, know how to get it, know how to get girls, know how to walk like a man, be like a man. It was really important to me because I grew up in a small country and I was originally born female. So I knew always that something was off about me, but I didn't have the exact words to define it. Then as I grew up as a teenage boy, I started to name it and to understand that I needed to be seen as a man by the others, and because I was feeling that in that way. And the more other people didn't see me as one, the more it was important to me to formally be in one, to be a part of all these categories, all these stereotypes. Then I reached 18 years old, and I was finally able to begin a real process, a physical and psychological process of transition. And I don't know if you're familiar with all the stuff that comes in transition, but I will make a brief summary of that. I went to an endocrinologist who sent me to a psychiatrist and a psychologist. And I started continuously see the psychiatrist and the psychologist for almost 2 years, after which they gave the permission for me to start the testosterone injection. In this moment, it started what is called a real life test, that it's supposed to be 1 year of living your life as a man, because of course when you start injection, you get secondary characters of the gender you desire, in my case a man. So I started to get the beard, the voice went down, and others started to see me as a man. Of course, my ID card was never changed in that real life test year, so good luck finding a job with a beard and an ID that says you're a woman. But anyway, after I passed this real life test and the psychiatrist and the psychologist gave consent for me to continue the transition, I was able to go to a lawyer and then to a judge who gave me permission again to go to a surgeon. And after like 2 years of waiting list, I went to an operating room and undergone surgery. After that, again, someone, the lawyer and the judge, gave me permission to go to the Italian state and legally change my name. So I was declared a man. Okay, this summarized at least like 6 or 7 years of my life, in which a lot of things changed for me. Of course, physically, but also psychologically. Physically, I reached a feeling that I've never felt before, that it was gender euphoria. Euphoria, I think you know what that means. Gender euphoria is used in this specific case because it's something that you discover later on in your life, the feeling of being in a body that belongs to you, that represents you. And opposite to that, for 25 years of my life, before that, there was dysphoria. Dysphoria is a less known word. I don't know if you're familiar with. Dysphoria is discomfort, unhappiness, or distress due to the primary or secondary sex characteristic. So it's a feeling of feeling really wrong in your body. It's a painful feeling that persists throughout all your days and life. And it's you cannot look at yourself in the mirror. It's very painful. You have continuously desire of mutilation, something like that. It's very painful feeling. You must think that like 80% of the trans teenager have thought about suicide, and at least 40% attempts it at least once. So it's very, very difficult. And psychologically, a lot of things change. And then I found myself asking, now what is coming? Now that I've reached a stadium where my body fits my inner personality. Now that everyone sees me as a man, what is coming next? And some challenges that I didn't know that were coming, more socially related one, open up to me. For example, I've reached the stadium of passing. I don't know if you know what that means. Passing is when someone is perceived as the gender they identify with. So in my case, everyone started to see me as a man. My ID was saying I was a man. My body was saying I was a man. So I didn't need to explain myself anymore to anyone. And at first, I didn't tell to people I was a transgender man. Because in all my life, I thought that if I do everything right, if I be a man enough, eventually I would stop being a trans person and became a man. But then I found out, of course, it wasn't true. Because I started to realize that I wasn't fitting the category, the male category. I didn't be standing up, and apparently that's a big deal in the male community. And I didn't watch soccer or play soccer. I didn't enjoy locker room jokes. I didn't know how to talk with dudes about girls and stuff. I didn't exactly fit the stereotype. And I was living this thing as a shame, something wrong with me again. And it took me a while to understand that not only I wasn't able to fit the category, but I didn't even want to fit the category. It was difficult to me to understand that being a trans person is not something that goes away. It's something that stays with you for all your life. You'll always be a trans person. I'll always be a trans man, but it's a treasure. It's something to be proud of, not something to hide for wanting to be like others. So it's like a path of self-acceptance. You must remember that this is a privilege. It's a privilege for me to be here talking to you. It's a privilege to say all this thing, and it's a privilege of the passing thing, because everyone who don't pass in society, everyone who doesn't represent a conformity in their gender, risk a lot. I don't know if you know that Italy is the first country in the world, in Europe, for a number of victims of transphobia. A lot of girls were murdered or killed themselves due to hatred they received by society in the last years, and we must always remember them. And of course, it's a privilege also to have undergone transition, to have found myself, because in 47 countries in the world in this moment, transitioning process doesn't exist at all. So everyone like me facing dysphoria, facing the hell that is not finding yourself in your body. Right now, in 47 countries, they cannot speak for themselves, they cannot seek help, and they're forced to stay with themselves, in their body, and the identity that the world give to us, to them. And in 14 countries, if they express this non-conformity, they are at risk of being imprisoned, of corporal punishment, and even death sentences. And we must not think that this is only something that is far from us in countries that are far away from us, because we have to be really focused on what's happening in the world. Like in the USA, in the last 3 years, the USA have promoted hundreds of bills, many of them became laws, targeting the rights of transgender people in a lot of states in America. So there are being these laws that target the process, the rights of trans people to seek medical help, the rights to participate in sport, in the community, the rights to be recognized by society, and also targeting people who want to help them, like parents or doctors. So we must always remember that rights that we have now is not something to be given for granted. We must always fight for keeping these rights and for creating a place where we can self-accept us and accept the others, and create a world where everyone can accept themselves for who they are, not fitting category. For me, this world revolves around a powerful thing that is imagination. Imagination for me was the first spark that gave me strength and resilience in the world. In my child years, I was finding comfort in movies and narratives, and it was my safe place where I can hide myself from the dysphoria I was feeling, from the difficulties I was feeling with myself and the world. And after a while, it became something really powerful with me. I started dreaming about being an actor, about write movies. But of course, imagining things, it's something that it doesn't come just because you have a mind that can think. You have also to have examples of feelings you dream, to dream it. How does a transgender child? I didn't even know I was trans, so I first started to dream I could be a man, and then I have also to dream to be an actor, trans actor in Italy. Yeah. So my journey of acceptation, I've taken these steps along the way, being accepted by others, then eventually accept myself, and then accept that maybe I could go back to the kid that was inside me, the kid that was dreaming of being an actor, and tell him that now, with all the structure that I've built about myself, I can finally protect him, and tell him that even if the others doesn't accept him, I will. I'm here to accept him. And I hope that in my journey through discovering who I am and discovering these dreams I have, I could be somehow an example for other trans kids out there who need to force to imagine who they can become. I thank you all very much.
thank you everyone. Thank you, Sam, soprattutto. Welcome again. So feel welcome to stay here, have a chat with Sam, have a chat with the other people of the team. I think there should be a public transportation strike going on, so if you're not, no, it's not that, okay. Okay, like every time.
Everything works.
Everything works.
Okay.
That's a good sign. Somehow. So anyway, if you want to stay here to work or to do whatever you want to do, you're welcome. As Greta said before. Thank you again to Spaces. Thank you everyone for being here. See you soon, very soon, because our next event will be on 15th of June in the evening, in a special edition with open mic. In the evening, in the creative. But you have to think about it in the morning, so it's still a creative morning. Somewhere in the world will be morning, so oh, we can do it. So see you.
And then we will be back in Spaces in July.
Exactly.
Yes.
In July we'll be back here.
And also working on a combination on connecting the two communities, CreativeMornings Milan and CreativeMornings Utrecht, having a joint edition in Spaces Milan and Spaces Utrecht for the autumn.
In the autumn, yes. So stay tuned. Thank you everyone again. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend.